Hi, everyone. We are so privileged to be having our guest today as Matt Scoletti, who is an entrepreneur, an author, a professional speaker, and a philanthropist, and just an all-around energetic, great person. Thank you so much, Matt, for being here. And I'm so excited to hear a little bit about your story.
Hey, thanks for having me, JT. I am pumped, my friend. I can't wait to see where we go with this, and I'm excited whatever direction we go.
Awesome. So, Matt, first off, tell us a little bit about your athletic history here of being two-time Ironman, I believe, as well as doing 29.029, which is an event that I have done. And I know how amazing of an event it is, just being around some incredible people and pushing your body. And then also pretty amazing that you've been on American Ninja Warrior and some other amazing events out there.
Yeah, I've been very, very blessed, JT. I was a basketball player growing up through high school, and then I realized quickly at 5'8" that I was not going to be a good enough collegiate player. So that kind of ended my basketball career. Tried out for University of Richmond basketball team, did not go so well. And then, and we'll probably get into it later, had a lot of setbacks from college and a few years out of college. And my athletic career, I guess, really started with endurance racing and competing in physique competitions in 2011. And I have been very blessed. I just completed my first Ironman. I'm not on my second one yet, but I'm signed up for one. So hopefully we'll get there. And yeah, and I'll tell you, just because when you brought up 29.029, for those that don't know, I'm sure they know because you've talked about it. That's the same elevation as Mount Everest. There's events in Utah, Vermont, and I did in Idaho. I did mine in Utah. You have to climb up this mountain 13 times, which is the equivalent of the height of Mount Everest. And it was brutal, as you know, JT. And I think, I don't know what you thought, but one of my major takeaways was the community that is 29.029 to me helped me through the most difficult times. I went straight through the night. You have 36 hours to do this. I didn't sleep and just went straight through the night because I was too worried if I stopped, my legs would lock up. I'm 38 years old, so I feel like I'm young, but I'm not a spring chicken either. And during the hours of midnight to 5 a.m., which I think were probably the toughest mentally anyways for me, the community, the people that I was going up the mountain with kept me going. And we were still having fun and joking around, almost laughing through the pain, because if you don't laugh, you'll cry. So it was the community vibe. And the same goes for the Ironman. It's amazing, these endurance races, how nice everybody is. And we're all competing against ourselves and not necessarily competing against the person next to you. So I've learned that these communities, especially in endurance racing, have put a smile on my face. And I've been blessed to meet some awesome people, including the man interviewing me right now. I'm excited. That's how we connected.
Well, it is how we connected. And like you said, it's a community that is just full of love and excitement and encouragement. And I think that goes for all of these kind of endurance sports as well. Just everyone's out there to set their own goal, their own pace, and to encourage each other. So
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I would just a caveat, if anybody is listening or watching this and you're thinking about signing up for any of these events, 5K, 10K, 29.029, Ironman, I was intimidated by the community for so long and did not sign up. And it was the opposite of that. For the most part, it's very welcoming. So I would just say, set a goal, sign up, and start training and go for it, because you never know what you may learn about yourself and who you may meet.
It's so true. And so with that being said, obviously the fitness side of the world is so important to you. And what makes it so important to you? What does it do for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think it goes back to my past. And I was blessed to give a speech to about 100 people last night, and I dove pretty deep into my story. And sometimes I get a little emotional, and every exercise, even this morning when I worked out, I think about the person that I was in 2011. And just to give you the quick story, from 2002 was my first year of college. And I sort of had the floodgates open in the party scene. I never really was a partier. And then I got to college and I'm like, wow, I get to do whatever I want and go crazy. And I did. And I got into drinking heavily. And I thought after the senior year of college, that would just sort of go away. And it didn't. I got into this vicious cycle that I could not get out of, or so I told myself I could not get out of. It lasted for a decade till 2011. And that was just like the turning point for me. I woke up hungover on the floor of my living room after a Halloween party in 2011, looked myself in the mirror really for the first time. I was embarrassed as to who was looking back. And I was 50 pounds overweight, felt horrible, felt no purpose, no passion, no energy for life. And I just told myself I never want to feel like that again. I'm living up to 5% of my potential, and I'm just not being the person that God or the creator or whatever you believe in wanted me to be, I didn't think. And so that's been the motivator ever since for the last 10 years, has been just doing my best to reach my potential, whether it's fitness or business or speaking. And as you're doing, trying to inspire people along the way to continue to level up their lives. But I'm not exaggerating when I say every day, and it normally is right before a workout, I think about who I was 10 years ago. And it's just such a driver that pushes me to just continuously, when you reach the top of one mountain, to look for the next mountain and say, I want to get up there. I want to keep going.
Yes. And for myself, we all have our challenges in life, and you just displayed one of your challenges, and we all have a story to share. And so with that, I think it's so important to be able to find something that you have a passion in and a love. But I think it's amazing how you have been able to stay on the track that you are, and stay so positive what you're doing and how you're helping others. And tell us a little bit about the philanthropy work that you do as well with your athletic side of things. You combine them both.
Yeah, that's been an interesting journey as well. So I did an event in 2014 called the World's Toughest Mudder. I think they still do this event. It's a 24-hour event, and it's a 5-mile loop outside. It was in the desert in Las Vegas when I did it. So you had to go around this 5-mile loop. There was like 35, 40 obstacles during the loop. And you just see how many loops you can get in before you can no longer move your legs any further. And as I was thinking about doing this event, I'm a believer in having a strong reason why, whatever the deep reason is why you want to do something. I'm a believer that can get you through the toughest part of life, and especially the toughest part of these events. So I tied that, my reason why for the World's Toughest Mudder was every mile that I did, I had people pledge money for a young adult cancer charity that my wife runs, and she still runs. And so it linked my performance to how much money would be raised. And it really drove me. There was a moment at about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning during this event, and I was ready to quit. And I was seriously taking my gloves off, and I was thinking, I'm done. And there's a moment where I look down, and I think there's a picture of it. I looked down at my race bib, and it had the names and the organization that I was raising money for. And I thought, I can't quit. Like I'm not done. I still have a little bit of energy left in my legs, and was able to get one more 5-mile loop in. And that's really been a driver. That this Ironman that I just completed, I was raising awareness for veterans, the Veterans Breakfast Club, which is a group of military veterans that have been a part of some World War II, Korea, Vietnam, or any other conflict, and just having that deep reason why for doing that Ironman, I think about all the military people who have fought and a lot of them given up their lives. I'm just thinking I can push through this swim or this bike or this run if I'm doing it for a mission that's much bigger than me. So a lot of the events have been tied to a local charity, which has been, it gives me purpose as well. And it raises awareness for great organizations.
Yes. And definitely pushes you along in the training process too.
Yes, it certainly does. And I think there's somebody that I heard that maybe set a goal to raise $29,029. I think
that's right. And
we
were
quite a story.
Well, we were blessed to accomplish that too with the support of so many. So you've also written a book. And can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Sure. Yeah. I wrote a book, I think it was in 2017, and the book is called The First 15, meaning the first 15 minutes of your day. And my life was sort of spiraling out of control to the point where I thought, okay, I don't think I can control an entire day because that felt overwhelming. So I thought, okay, let's just chunk it out into 15-minute segments, starting with as soon as the alarm goes off. And I think this is the first segment of the book is I would snooze 3 to 5 times every single morning, every morning. And the problem was the night before, I would always say to myself, okay, I'm not going to snooze tomorrow. I'm not going to snooze. I'm going to get up when the alarm goes off. And then I would snooze. And the point looking back at it, I lost confidence and self-esteem and self-worth every morning because I didn't even hit the first goal before I got out of bed. So before I even wake my body up, I feel like I'm already behind. So I'm a big believer in just getting up when the alarm goes off because it just feels like you've already won. Like you already hit one goal and you just got yourself out of bed.
Yeah. And that's a great point. There's another book out there, which I'm sure you're aware of. It's called Make Your Bed. And I think that where you started with this is getting out of bed is that first goal, making your bed or whatever that next task is. And I know for you, one of your big tasks in the morning is to do something physical. And how does that play a role in your everyday life?
That plays a huge role in my everyday life. And just the sidebar, make your bed. I've heard that speech. I think it's a military general maybe that gave a speech on that. Yep. Unbelievable speech. That's one of my favorites. And I'm a believer in exercise at any point in the day. But what I learned, and maybe this is just me, and I understand that everybody's different. When I would work out after work, like that was all well and good. And I got it in. But working out to me first thing in the morning changed my energy for the rest of the day. And I think if we can get ourselves outside of our comfort zone within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up, you're already so far ahead of probably where you've been in the past and 99% of the people. So when something goes wrong during the workday, which I'm sure for all of us, it happens on a daily basis, you're anchored into your workout. And I can think, wait a minute, I crushed a workout at 5:30 this morning. I can deal with this tough client call for 10 minutes during the day. So it's my anchor for the day, and it gets me out of my comfort zone first thing in the morning. My energy is totally different to the point where people around me can see if I did not work out in the morning because my energy is not the same. So
I can even see it too, because I follow you on Instagram, which I think everyone should check out your Instagram. And it is a morning boost of energy for sure. So I love your personality and attitude, especially with just getting people motivated. Talking about motivation, what's one of your biggest motivators?
That is a great question. And I think motivation is, and I know you and I fall under the same category of motivational speaker. And I don't know, I go back and forth with this because I think motivation is the start, right? Like you need some motivation to get moving. And then once you get the ball rolling, then you have the momentum. So like the motivation turns into the momentum, and that keeps things going and becomes a habit. And then I think you become unstoppable once you develop these really, really solid habits. My motivation is really the 2011 version of myself. That's something that constantly motivates me. And I think also I'm motivated by doing different things and constantly looking for the next challenge. So like when I finish an event like 29029, as soon as that ended, I'm all for celebrating and making sure you enjoy that day or two or week after. And then it was like, okay, what's the next challenge? And it just happened to be the Ironman at that point, which I had never done before. So I'm motivated by constantly looking for the next challenge while also enjoying being in the moment. I used to make the mistake of looking so far ahead, I couldn't even enjoy the moment that I'm in. And I think there's a balance there. But yeah, just trying to constantly level up and upgrade my fitness ability, but more so my mindset is a challenge that I feel motivated by every single day. And then inspiring others, as I know you do.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than doing a podcast or giving a speech, and then you have 3, 5, 10 people who come up to you and say, I needed to hear that. I appreciate you telling your story and being vulnerable. And I hid my story for so long that as soon as I opened up about the alcoholic battle, because nobody knew I was going through it, it was amazing the support that I got whenever I was scared, thinking, are people going to think less of me because I battled alcoholism for a decade? And It was the opposite of that. The support that I got for being vulnerable and putting myself out there, I think really helped me move in the right direction and hopefully inspire other people.
You know, you make a great point there with vulnerability. This came up very recently in my life, and throughout my life, I feel like that being the person to be able to talk about the things that you're going through is one of the biggest healing factors for yourself, and also finding the support from another individual, and being clear with someone allows them to be open as well. And so I love that you are so open to your challenges and being able to display those and help others and encourage others to overcome.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because it was a scary thing to put myself out there and sort of admit to all these past mistakes that I had made. And you're exactly right. Looking back, it's really the best thing. And that's a great point with healing process. It helped in the healing process so much to just know through my struggles, it may help out a lot of people to not go through those same struggles. So I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. So Matt, what's next?
My dream, JT, I'll see what you think of this, because I feel like you enjoy things like this too. I think I'm speaking to 15 different groups of students over the course of 4 days, which just gets me amped up like nothing ever could. I love speaking to the next generation of young people. And again, hopefully they can hear my story and not follow the same path that I did for many, many years. So a lot of exciting stuff on the horizon. I'm excited for it all.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all that. And that is so exciting. And so how do individuals get in touch with you? How do they book you for speaking engagements, and also social media wise?
Yeah, I would say I'm most active on Instagram. It's just my name at Matt Scoletti, and send me a message. I think I've responded to every direct message I've had so far. If it takes me a couple of days, I apologize. And then you could do my website, which is just my name as well, mattscoletti.com, and look me up just to say hello. And maybe I can help encourage you to go after whatever your next goal is. And I'd be happy. Virtual. I love social media for being able to connect with people, especially in an interesting COVID world that we're still kind of in. So yeah, definitely look me up on Instagram. I will respond to anybody.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Matt Scoletti, and best of luck on your next adventures here, Matt.
Thanks a lot for having me. You do such a good job with the interview process. Blessing to be here, JT.
Thank you.